All right, let's get rolling on our highlight of the day, Monday, August the 12th. Pretty unique day in the ES. The driver for some overnight weakness was Hong Kong and some continued unrest there. And then some news out of China that helped accelerate this move down. But what I want to talk about is for a good 45 minutes after the open, so 8:30 Central to about 9:15 Central, there was a level, there were plenty of levels, or plenty of reason, I should say, to go through this 94 even, 95 even in the E-minis. And you could see how many times it rejected and rallied, rejected and rallied and rejected, and finally had a nice rally all the way up to 2008, 13-point rally. And then what happens is we get to what we call the other side of the mountain. What does the other side of the mountain mean? Well, you have X amount of shorts in this area, people trying to play, including myself, for a breakout to the downside somewhere in the 80s. We had, I think it was the overnight low was 92 even. We had Friday's low was like evens. We had Thursday's low of last week, 92. We had Wednesday's high around 91. So there's a lot of reasons why they should be able to break through, and you got a lot of people selling it and not getting paid in the first 45 minutes of today's open. Couple things. If you were one of them, that's fine. What's not fine is if you were one of them and you were still short in this entire rally and you got killed by either adding to your short or taking a short from here or from here and still having it when it's way up here. That's not okay. You had to realize there was going to be a big breakout either through 94 or above evens as this market was setting this consolidation box, like we talk about so often, inside this yellow shade. The middle of it's important, everything else. The thing to remember, though, is when do you get bullish to anticipate the rally that could continue another 8 points? And it was through two spots, 02 even, which was the open, and 04, which for profilers was a value area low that, in my opinion, a lot of them tried to sell it, got stuck all the way to 08. They all tried to buy it. When it came back, worked as good support once, rallied back up to test the 08. Now, as we go on, and again, this isn't just a review. This is what we talked about live. As we were moving through 02 in this area, the bears took back over. Doesn't mean you could just sell it. Life is good. They're finally going to break through this 94 and you could buy it in the 80s. Doesn't work that way. But what you can say and think about, 02 was the open. They got through it without any problem right in here. There's no coincidence it came back and worked the subsequent resistance. There were opportunities to find ways to open a short position. If you were opening up a long position, hey, that's fine. Just know that the bears were in control when they splattered back through 29.02 even. Understand there was some bearish news that came out in here. Some reports out of China that was, negative to any kind of deal being reached and how strong China is and they're in a better position, all that stuff. How bearish is it? Like I like to say, I don't know how bearish it is, but it's certainly not bullish news. Then you take into consideration this other side of the mountain idea. Let's go back over that. The market's trading. They're trying to fight, going lower, going higher. Bulls win. And then all of a sudden, we come back down on this other side of the mountain where two things happen. The first thing that happened is in this rally, anybody short in here would have been squeezed out. What happens when you have less shorts? I'll abbreviate. Less shorts in the market equals less buyers below. Less buyers below equals what? An easier path down for the price of any product. Another thing happens after a big rally like this. You start to get a lot of people who just see a rally, get bullish, and they look to buy the rally. And they're really not that good at getting out when they're wrong. So they're buying it and they're buying it and they're buying it and they're buying it. So you tend to get more longs after a good rally. And when it doesn't work, again, more longs equals more sellers. Know that equation. It should be easy. After you're long, you're now a seller. After you buy it, you're a seller. So more longs equal more sellers that aren't getting paid. How do you know they're not getting paid? Because this market never really re-rallied through any kind of highs. So on the other side of a mountain, it's an assumption, but it's a pretty accurate assumption that in here you have X amount of people short trying to get the breakout. In here, like we talked about when it was in here before it broke out, there are less people short. There's X amount of shorts in here. There are less shorts in here. Less shorts, less buying, an easier path lower. In this market, in any market, is the trend your friend? Usually not, because you can't hold on to trades forever. You get short and you open up on the right side of the market, or you open up a position on the right side, hence happens to be the downside, and you try to squeeze your profits for 10, 20-point winners. Good luck to you. Market came back a little bit more aggressively than I thought. I thought it would hold a little bit below 92, 93. It's now peaked to 93, and now this back to real-time 94. It's probably choppy, and they'll make another attempt at these 88s. But understand the other side of the mountain, both on a larger time frame and even on a shorter time frame, because I'm thinking that and playing that in here. Here's the peak of the mountain. Here's the bottom. Should it have went through here and broke and did this? Sure, but it didn't. But I'm not a kind of guy that's sitting there waiting for it to still do that when it's way up in here. You got to transition. The market's changing its mind. As a trader participating in it, so do you. It's like my wife trying to pick out her shoes. She changes her mind a lot. So you got to go with the flow.